What is up? Welcome back to another NFL Rundown brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I am here and we brought in a special guest today. With all the Urban Meyer stuff going on, we figured we'd bring an expert in on getting grinded on in bars, and that's our friend Holden Kushner. Holden, how are you doing? And has Urban Meyer reached out to you as how to handle the situation?
Unfortunately, he hasn't. He should. Just deny till you die is
Yeah.
my thing. It's she forced herself on him. He looked miserable in those pictures too.
Hmm.
He's just like he didn't want to do it. There's a scene where his hand is running up the backside of a young lady, and I would just say that I'd ask his wife go to the instant replay because it has to be 100% conclusive. And I would say it was only 85 to 90% conclusive that he had his hand where he wasn't supposed to be. So I think Urban Meyer's in the clear.
All right.
Nothing
Well,
bad's
now,
going to happen to him.
yeah. Hopefully they reach out to you because they haven't been handling this well so far. But we'll look forward to that in the future. Tyler, coming off another pretty good last night. Hey, I had the Raiders, but then I also had the Waller anytime touchdown that you gave out. So kind of a throw it up in the air for me night. Lost a little juice. What did you think about the game last night, Tyler?
I mean, Chargers defense is legit. Herbert's
Hmm.
definitely a stud quarterback. He's probably up there in probably what top 6 or 7 guys now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I see his MVP odds shot up from 22 to 1 to 8 to 1. So he's right
Ooh.
up in that group of guys. But I mean, this Raiders team, I don't think they're like a fraud, but I don't think they're up there with the top teams in the AFC.
Yeah, I think they're right around, a wild card team or maybe just right there, a team that barely misses the wild card. Holden, what were your takeaways from that game?
First of all, I got my ass kicked. It was not. I saved myself with it. I never single game parlay, and I single game parlayed last night because
Uh-huh.
I was on so much of the Raiders plus 3.5. Me and Keg do the show during the week. The DFS and bet show. What is it? Picking winners every Wednesday. So I was on the Raiders, but I did have Waller, a Chargers victory, and I think the over 51 or maybe whatever hit the over or the under, and I just saved my ass on that. So I got everything, just about everything back. But it wasn't a great night for me overall. And then I just have an issue with the Raiders. I think Gruden is the worst coach in his division, and yeah, we could talk about that. It's just why are we grounding and pounding now in these days? Why are we doing this? He came out and his offense had no shot of keeping his team in the game in the first half because he just kept running it every time on first down. So I'm with you, Tyler. Coming into the season, I thought the Chargers had a top 5 defense from a talent standpoint, and now it looks like they have a competent head coach. Imagine how good this team could have been maybe even last year with a
I think
competent head
another big
coach.
thing is Derwin James staying healthy. If that
Yeah.
guy
Well,
stays
that'll
healthy
be
the whole year,
nice.
that defense is just elite.
Yep. I think it's just it's great. It's a great team. It really is. Jared Cook is a wonderful addition. Allen and Williams are studs. If Mike Williams can stay healthy, I know he had a down game last night. That dude stays healthy. This team is going to be in the mix to get out of the AFC. I truly believe that. And that was a very impressive win last night. And I really liked that they were up 21-0. The Raiders had all the momentum, and then they said, screw this. We're just going to put a stop to this. So Chargers moving way up the book for me. Unfortunately, they play 17 road games, and it's probably going to be the same this week. What is it? The Browns are coming to town. So they got to win all these games on the road, man. They don't have home field advantage. And a guy that was at the game last night told me ESPN was trying to make it so it was like a 50-50 crowd or 60-40. He said it was like 90-10 Raiders versus Chargers fans. There's just no Chargers fans. So keep that in mind. I don't think it's a big deal, though, because this team's a bunch of badasses with good coaching.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the most complete team when you look at the offense and the defense in the AFC. So something to keep an eye on moving forward. And of course, we will be previewing their game on Sunday. But let's jump ahead to Thursday as the Los Angeles Rams, fresh off their first loss of the season, head to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, who beat the San Francisco 49ers this week. Tyler, the line opened at a pick. It's now Rams -2.5. I agree with the move, but I can't get involved right now. What are you thinking of the side on this game and the total of 54.5?
I mean, looking at the side, I agree with you on the line movement. I think the Rams win this one convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, looking at the Seattle side, Lockett's still banged up. Ramsey's probably going to cover DK, which pretty much takes him out of the game. So now you have a banged up Lockett and really no other weapons to use outside of Chris Carson. So if they stop the run game too, where's Seattle's offense coming from? I think this is a bounce back spot for Stafford too. I think he goes right back to Cooper Kupp. If you look at Cooper Kupp's stats, he's towards Seattle in the past. So that 84.5 on his receiving yards, I think is a winner.
Holden, who do you like in this game?
Well, I'll just say this. I was at least encouraged from the Seahawks defense last week because remember, the second and third game of the year, they gave up 63 points and they allowed almost 1,000 yards of offense. That's not a joke. They allowed 985 yards of offense. And they really got off to a little slow start here. And I think, who was it that was wide open for the Niners? Was it Debo? He was just standing by himself, nobody within 30 yards of him.
Yeah, that was Debo.
And went down. But they had Neal come back in this game, and they went and they played a little more dime, and they brought a sixth defensive back in, believe it or not. Like, you don't see that very often, and things went a lot better for them. So maybe they could scheme this up. The only worry I have for the Rams would be them going on the road. And you could say this is a stupid argument because it doesn't have any numbers backing it up. My sense is that this Rams team is going to be much better at home than on the road offensively. And it felt that way game one, and then they go to Indianapolis. They're on the road. They didn't look quite as sharp. It's a small sample. It's one game. Come home, look terrific. Then that last game was rough. I think it'll be a closer game than Tyler does, I believe. But and more than anything, they got to go to Seattle. That is not an easy place to play. All right, it's really, 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 really loud. It's a loud place. There's a definitive home field advantage there. And there's still Russell Wilson. But again, I go back to this coaching. Pete Carroll has just passed him by. I don't understand some of the things they're doing with Russell Wilson. I don't blame Russell Wilson for wanting to get out of town because we've tried this over and over again, right? 14, 15, things were great. Going to the Super Bowl, Legion of Doom. No more Legion of Doom. Now you're running in different offensive coordinators. Nothing's changed. He's still frustrated, and he should be. What are we doing here? So I do like the Rams in this game, but it's just going to be so close that right now I don't even have a lean.
All right. Yeah. Well, I definitely lean the Rams, and maybe there'll be a little Seahawks buyback, but we'll continue to see where this line runs before Thursday. Tyler, 21-9 in your last 30 picks. Do you have some winning props for us for this game?
21-9?
Yeah, the kid's hot. Yeah.
Good job, Tyler.
But I mean, looking at the props for this game spread, that Cooper Kupp one at 84.5, I think he goes over that because I think Stafford's just going to go right back to him.
It's 88 now.
Is it 88 on DK?
I don't see it at 84 anywhere. I saw it in the Discord this morning, and I was looking for it. I saw it juiced up to 88.
It's 85.5 on DK now.
85.5. You still like it?
Yeah, you can still get minus 120 on that.
Let me ask you something real quick though. Because McVay said he's coming out. He's like, we got to get Robert Woods more involved in the offense. Does that take anything away from Kupp this week? Should I be worried about that? Because that's the one thing holding me back from betting that prop.
I mean, I don't think so. Because I think after that tough loss, I think they're going to do what like Green Bay does after they lose a big game. They go right back to what works. Like you see Rodgers go right back to Adams. I think you see Stafford go right to Kupp here and just target the shit out of him. He's probably getting 10 plus targets here. I think he gets like 8 catches for 100-some yards and a touchdown. All
right. That sounds good. I'll be in there with you, Tyler, because you saved me last night, giving me the Waller one. And, hey, you've had a great start to the NFL season, and it's just fantastic. And we'd love to see how long it keeps going. Now, let's head across the pond to London. So this one will be kicking off at 6:30 a.m. for me, Holden. I'm pretty excited about, let's see if I get up on time, have some coffee, enjoy the New York Jets taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I like the Jets here. I really liked what their pass rush was able to do last week. And, of course, we know that's the key to beating the Falcons is Matt Ryan can't move, and they need time for these receivers to get down the field. I felt that Wilson kind of gained some momentum, and I'm happy taking the points. I don't know if they win straight up, but I think it's a low-scoring slog of a game, and I'll be happily having those 4 points in my pocket. Holden, what are your thoughts on the Jets and the Falcons heading over to Tottenham Stadium?
I mean, are you betting this just because you have to give a side here? It's the Jets and the freaking Falcons, man. I mean, I like what I saw to Zach Wilson last week. He actually showed a pulse, but we're talking about two horrible teams, two of the worst teams in the National Football League, then flying halfway across the world and going to play a football game over there. Spread, I don't want anything to do with this game. Sorry, buddy. I could look at some player props. Probably not going to look at player props. There's just certain games that cross off the board. And if smart people at Run Pure Bets have plays that they're going to put up on the sheet, then I will tail those plays. But I don't want anything to do with this game.
All right, Holden's completely out this game. I'm holding my nose and taking the Jets. What's your thoughts, Tyler?
I mean, I pretty much agree with Holden here. I don't really want to bet this game. But if you're going to pin me down, just give me the under. I mean, Jets defenses look good this year. They should be all over Matt Ryan. So I don't see Atlanta putting up many points. And I think it's almost pretty much a letdown spot for the Jets after they picked up that win. You know they're going to be riding high into this game. I could see this being like a 17-10 game. And that 46 is looking like a gift to the under. But outside of that, I mean, I don't want anything to do with this game either.
And that's fair too. I can't fault you guys there. I just saw an opportunity to once again fade the Falcons, which I think is going to be one of my themes this season. Let's talk about another team with a bird mascot, the Philadelphia Eagles, who, if the season ended right now, would have 3 picks in the top 10. They're going to head to Carolina to take on the Panthers. They're catching 3.5 points. Panthers, of course, coming off that drubbing in Dallas, where they played a nice first half and then just got whooped the second half. Holden, what do you think about Carolina's chances here? And do you think it's smart to lay the 3.5?
Well, I hate a hook. A hook's never fun, but Carolina is like a borderline wild card team to me at this point. I'm not worried about what happened to Dallas. I'm starting to buy into Dallas, believe it or not, for the first time in ages. I'm sure something horrible happened to the Cowboys, and then it'll make us rethink that. But I like what I've seen out of the Panthers this year. You know, Sam Darnold's really adapted to this new offense. Defensively, they're getting pressure on the quarterback. Last week, I think people are really going to be on Jalen Hurts because of what they saw he did against Kansas City. But let's not forget, you know, Kansas City, when you talk about the worst teams in football, like they are the Atlanta Falcons on defense. They're that bad. So I'm not going to overreact to what I saw from the Eagles last week. I would take the Panthers. I don't think this thing comes down to 3. The hook bothers me a little bit. So I'm probably not going to be on it, but a strong lean to the Panthers. And then as far as the total goes, I don't feel comfortable either way. I mean, maybe look at the team total for this. 44.5 is not a big number. And I'm actually more interested in finding out what you guys think about this number. 24 for the Panthers, 21 for the Eagles. Maybe the team total is the way to go. Tyler, what's your take on this game, man?
I mean, looking at this one, if Philly's offensive line's still banged up after what we've seen Dallas put them through on that Monday night game where they were just all over Hurts, Kansas City just racked up 3 sacks on them. This defensive front for Carolina is probably the best one out of those 3. I think that under on Philly might be a look because I don't think they put up many points in this game. Would you say it was 21.5 or are we getting a flat 21?
For the
Philadelphia's team
the
total.
Eagles is 20.
Okay. And maybe if we can get that at 21.5 and get that hook there.
Under.
Yeah. I think
what about the 24, guys? What about this 24 sitting here on Carolina against this Eagles defense?
I kind of lean over there. I think Darnold has a bounce back game. I mean, they were in that game until halftime, and then they come out and he throws those 2 picks to Diggs, and then Dallas pretty much took over that game.
Yeah, I agree with Tyler, though. I think you wait and you see the status of the offensive line before you make a play on this game. Against Kansas City last week, 4 of the 5 starters from week 1 on the offensive line did not play, right? So they had 1 guy and 4 backups. And I think the one guy is Jason Kelsey, who's fighting an injury there. So I'll wait to see the status of the Philadelphia offensive line. But if they're still banged up, I'm with you guys on Carolina and, of course, the appropriate derivatives, and that would be the Carolina team total over and the Eagles team total under. Here's a game that I actually like too. How about the Green Bay Packers versus Cincinnati Bengals? The Packers are laying 3. They're in Cincinnati. Hey, guys, Joe Burrows looks pretty good. But other than that, it seems like a nice spot for Rodgers and the Packers to feast on a Cincinnati defense that I don't believe in yet. Holden, what's your thoughts on the 3-1 Cincinnati Bengals?
I think they're for real stopping the run. I am interested in seeing what they can do against Aaron Rodgers this week because I think this offense quickly turned around after that first 6 quarters. That was a complete debacle. Is Aaron Jones going to be able to run on this Bengals defense? That's my question. I don't know what the answer to that question is. Packers -3 on the road. it seems like it's a smart bet. Laying 3 on the road doesn't make me feel great. The Bengals are going to have some extra time for this game too. The total at 50.5 is interesting though, because if you think that the Packers are going to win this game, I might lean toward the over because Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, maybe they get Higgins back. I don't know what you guys know about Higgins right now, but
I don't know, man.
27 points for the Packers. Yeah, I lean toward the Packers again. This is not going to be something I'm betting right now. I'll let the week play out, but I do believe in the Bengals a little bit spread. You don't? You're not into them?
No, we were down on them before the season started, and I thought they've kind of ran good to start the season. I mean, I think the Vikings could have easily beaten them, and then of course, beating the Jaguars is not really what we thought it might have been before the season with what a disaster that franchise is. Tyler, here's another one that I'm waiting though. Jair Alexander, not really sure what his status is. Might be out for the season. He might be able to just suit up and play this week. So definitely waiting to see that, but I'm leaning towards Green Bay if Alexander plays. What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, it's tough because we need to know the Alexander news, and I think we need to know the Joe Mixon news before playing this, because running backs have gouged that Green Bay defense for the last couple of years. If Mixon's in there and since he can grab a lead, he could definitely run them and keep them in the game and chew the clock to where Rodgers stays on the sideline. If he's not in that game, they're running guys like Samaj Perine out there.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to control the ball. It's going to be all Rodgers. So I think this game, we got to wait and see who's all playing on Sunday. But if all them receivers are in for Cincy and they get back Higgins and Alexander's out, I think the over is definitely a play. I think you're going to get points in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Cincinnati's offense is better than we expected during the preseason, and I don't really like their offensive line, but Burrow seems to be getting it done. Any more thoughts on this one, Holden, before we move on?
No, I mean, I think it is going to be big with Mixon. I get that running backs don't matter, but Mixon is a far superior talent to Samaje Perine. Okay, I've seen this kid. He was in Washington for a while. He really doesn't have too much to offer. And if they're a one-dimensional offense, then definitely the Packers in this one.
Yeah, definitely. So we will wait and see with the injury news. Let's go to another team that's been Jekyll and Hyde. The New Orleans Saints head to Washington to take on the football team. Boy, the way the Saints have been playing, right? Real good, real bad, real good, real bad. Looks like we're on case for another real good here. What do you think, Holden, going against a team in the city where you used to work?
Where is that? Where did I used to work?
Didn't you work in Washington?
Oh, yeah, I did work in Washington, D.C. The Saints are going to be pissed off, aren't they? That was what a horrible performance against Danny Dimes. I don't think the Saints are that bad. They should have been favored in that game too, but defensively breakdowns. Jameis Winston is who they thought he was. Road favorites against the football team. So here's what I take on the football team. Taylor Heineke, holy moly, did he get lucky last week. Did you guys see the touchdown pass to McLaurin? Where he was falling down, he just threw it up. This guy got so lucky.
And he's on the ground like
McLaurin. McLaurin had had 15 yards of separation. He was in for a touchdown. Heineke sees him, then he gets flushed out of the pocket, and then he throws it up. So listen, Washington got a bit lucky. I'm still down on their defense. They have not lived up to the hype. As a matter of fact, for a team that people thought was going to be a top 5 defense, I'd argue they're a bottom 10 defense. They're not getting a pass rush. Chase Young isn't doing what he needs to be doing. The secondary is a lot worse because the pass rush isn't there. I actually like the Saints to bounce back in this one on the road. 2.5. If it was 3, I kind of feel like it's a push. I feel like this is a New Orleans team that wins this game by a field goal. Taylor Heineke, very lucky, big fan of his, living in his sister's basement with her or whatever the hell. Yeah, and his brother-in-law, and he was at a football and they called him up, but that's fine. That's a nice story. But the Washington defense is getting no pressure. Taylor Heineke has been extraordinarily lucky, and I'll take Sean Payton and this defense to bounce back this week.
All right, Tyler, Holden and I both like the Saints. Who do you like in this game?
I'm not taking a side in this game because I really don't want to back Winston, and I think Washington's due for a letdown spot. I think the over is a play here at 44.5.
Okay.
You figure Heineke's mobile as a quarterback. Even if they flush him out of the pocket, he's going to get the ball to these receivers. They should put up some points. And just like Holden said, I mean, Saints should be fired up after that loss. Getting no pressure on Winston, he should put up some points here too. That 44 is pretty low. I think they can get up over that.
All right, yeah, and Twatty's saying Logan Thomas might be out as well. Yeah, Logan Thomas
That's
is
right,
out more
Twatty.
than my cat, who's feral and spends about 3 minutes a day inside the house. So I'm not surprised that Logan Thomas is out again. So Tyler's gonna lay off, and Holden and I like the Saints here. I think if you like the Saints, you grab them now, right, Holden? Doesn't seem like there's going to be any football team money coming in. Would you think?
I just think, 2.5 is a number that I like. If it drops to 2, big deal, right? I mean,
Yeah, so I would just take it now because it seems I don't want the risk of it going to 3.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump in on that one now. Everything else has been kind of a wait and see so far, even though like I know where which positions I like. But that one, I think that I'm in danger of losing that real good line value. So I'll attack that one right now. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins catching 10.5 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, the Buccaneers are off the story that captivated everyone's attention with Tom Brady's return to New England. Yada yada yada. How much fun was that? Now the Dolphins, who are absolutely terrible with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, really seem to be falling apart. And I would say between them and the football team, every morning I wake up arguing with myself who I overrated more this year, the Dolphins or the football team. And I still haven't got a good answer. Some mornings I think it's the Dolphins. Some mornings I think it's the football team. But 10.5 seems to be a lot here. But I don't trust Jacoby Brissett to even take advantage of the weakened Buccaneers secondary. So it's not a play for me at all. Holden, what do you think? Are you going to actually lay it against these Dolphins?
If you're laying it, you just think that the Buccaneers are going to be emotionally drained. That's the only reason that I could think that you would back the Dolphins this week. And you're spot on with Jacoby Brissett. I mean, this guy, he doesn't turn the ball over. You look at his career, he doesn't turn the ball over very much, but it's because he doesn't take chances. And if you're not going to get explosive plays against the Buccaneers, you're not going to win. I think that's pretty simple. Again, I'm hesitant to bet this. 10.5 is a lot of points in the NFL. I mean, we saw it this week. The Jets freaking beat the Titans, man. Mm-hmm. These just weird things happen in the NFL. If you're telling me like 7.5, 7, even 7.5, okay, I could go there. I don't like this. I'm staying off this game. I don't like this game at all.
Yeah, it's teaser proof too because you don't get through 3 or 4, so you're only getting through 7 and 6. Yeah, good job by the books here to keep me off this game and not take any of my action. Tyler, are Holden and I missing a profitable angle?
I mean, I don't think so. 10 is a lot, but I think this could be similar to Houston Buffalo last week where we just watched the defense just clamp down on the quarterback and Miami can't do anything and Tampa just slowly pulls away. I think their team total at 29.5 so look. Because Miami's defense has always been like turnover. They build their momentum on turnovers. They don't really get much pressure. And I think these receivers will have a day. So I think they definitely put up 30 points in this spot. But, I mean, if you're going to force me to bet it, I'm laying the 10 with Tampa, but I probably won't be on a side in this game.
Can you imagine being the Miami GM watching that game last night and just thinking we could be in the Super Bowl? We could be real Super Bowl contenders if we had just made one pick different. So must have been, we thought we had a rough night because we lost a couple $100 on the Raiders. What a rough night for that guy. And we spoke about a team that surprisingly lost last week, and now they got a situation where they might surprisingly lose again. The Tennessee Titans are now -4 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are without a coach. He didn't have any meetings today. He's off doing his best Holden impersonation out in all the bars.
What did Urban Meyer do that reminds you of him of me? I mean, I
just had women all around him that caused controversy.
I mean, there's no controversy though. No one cares that I'm publicly doing things with women. Not even the police. I mean, they just look the other way.
So all your other Tinder matches are just totally cool with it.
I'm done with Tinder.
The police are like, that's just Holden.
Yeah, they don't know. I sit in my house most of the day. I only go out, so they really don't know who I am. It's great.
Okay. All right. Well, okay.
Urban, again, if you're watching this, just keep denying it. You had this. Yeah. It was an awful apology. Just go back on it and deny till you die.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a very good apology too. But where do the Jaguars go from here? And will anyone in their right mind be grabbing this +4 here against this Tennessee Titans team, looking to bounce back after a loss that's really got to shake them to their core?
Tyler, why don't you take this one first? I don't want to derail the whole conversation before we actually get some football talking on this.
All right, yeah, Tyler, you can knock it out first.
All right, it'll be quick.
That's a pro host right there.
I don't think we could bet this one until you know what the Tennessee wide receivers are going to play. Like, first they're going to be down both of them guys. You can't do much. But there's no chance I'll have a Jacksonville ticket with all the things that are going on with that team.
You don't think the team rallies around their coach and says, hey, we like hanging out with 25-year-olds too. This is not a big deal. Our wives don't care?
No, I don't think so. I think they're in for a long season.
Holden, have you ever been in a situation where you rallied around a philandering coach?
No, but I would not rally around him. Did you see all the tweets? Listen, Mike Silver and I don't like each other. We each blocked each other on Twitter.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
He's a bitch. But this is a public show. But honestly, he's you are Mike Silver. So he did come out with some good information though. Like Urban Meyer didn't even apologize to the whole team. He went to like position groups and he said he was sorry. And there were players that were actually laughing at him when he'd leave the room after his apology. They've lost all faith in this guy. He's such a joke. There's been so many issues. Now, from the side of things where they were in the bar and he was doing stuff, he must have been hammered because everybody knows now there's cell phones and there's cameras everywhere. Like we were worried about 1984, the Orwellian masterpiece, right? It really is 1984, except the government doesn't do it quite as much as other people do it. He's sitting there running his hand up this girl's thigh and her ass. And I'm saying to myself, how do you not check yourself? Like, don't you know that this is going to get out? Don't you know that this is going to happen? So fine, he did that. He gave a horrible apology. It's obvious that he's wanted out since the beginning of the season too. He knows he made a mistake, right? He knows he's made a mistake. I think sooner than later he's done here, and then he's going to take a year off, and then some colleges going to be like, well, Urban really saw the light, cheating on his wife and derailing an organization that was already derailed. He learned from his lessons. I can't wait to find that. And if I'm Urban Meyer, I'm trying to get that job in USC because you saw that blonde in the bar. They're a dime a dozen out in USC. This guy is going to be just swimming in it. And his wife's just going to have to deal with it because that's the kind of piece of garbage he is.
Well, supposedly they have an arrangement and that, she had a personal trainer that was very hands-on. Back to the football game here. So all of us are completely laying off. First, Tyler. Yeah, I mean, I understand Tyler's point of laying off. The line move indicates to me that we're going to be missing one or both of those guys. Let me just give you a hypothetical, Tyler. If I have AJ Brown in there, but no Julio Jones, are you good to go on Tennessee, or does Julio mean something to you? Because I kind of think it's pretty much AJ needs everything.
I want one of them on the field at least.
One.
Okay.
I need a threat for them to throw the ball. Even though Derrick Henry's chewed Jacksonville apart every game for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
You got to have some kind of weapon on the outside, or they'll just put 11 guys in the box.
All right. Sounds good. And Tyler's another guy that's glad that it's 1984 since he picked the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl this season. Let's move on to another game, and we'll stick to football on all of this one, unless you want to talk about 6 shots of espresso every morning, Holden. The Detroit Lions are catching 7, heading to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Originally, this Lions line tempted me, right? It seemed like a lot of points, but then you know what I decided? I'm not going to take the Lions on the road at all this year. I'm only going to take them at home. They'll probably be catching points at home too. Seems like a nice spot for Minnesota to bounce back. What do you think of Kirk Cousins, the Minnesota Vikings, Mike Zimmer? I mean, speak of a guy who doesn't want to step out on his wife, right? Holden, it's Mike Zimmer. She's looking pretty good. But what do you think of this game?
That was good analysis, Fred.
Thank you.
His woman. I mean, I like it. I like the Vikings, but I'd rather tease this down from 7.5. So that's just my take on real quick on the line. The side is the interesting one. The Vikings are just Jekyll and Hyde. They're 1-3. They've been in every single freaking ball game. It's very.
They actually have a positive point differential.
Yeah. And the other thing is we got to keep an eye on Dalvin Cook. Even though he played last week, he did not look good. He doesn't look like he's feeling good. It might just be a stay away spot for me. The Lions are miserable. They seem to be competitive in the first half of games, and then ultimately the talent just gets away from them. The total of 49.5, I'm not confident that the Lions will do their part to get there. So it's just maybe a tease option, but for me, I'll definitely stay off at the 7.5.
All right. Sounds good. Tyler, what do you think?
Looking at it, I mean, this Vikings team could easily be 4-0. You figure Dalvin Cook fumble, a missed field goal, and then they take the loss 14-7 to Cleveland, who's probably one of the better teams in the league. So I think this is the spot where they just rout a team. I don't think Detroit stands a chance here. I think they beat them by like 17 points. The way you beat Detroit seems like it's through the air. So it's going to be Justin Jefferson and Thielen all game. I don't think it matters who's in that backfield, if it's Cook or Madison. Those guys will just eat off of the receivers just running down the field on this team. But outside of that, I mean, maybe their team total at 28.5, the over there. That might not be a bad look, but I'm going to be all over these receivers on Sunday.
All right, I will be with you because I'm not going to overthink this game. This seems like a great spot for the more talented team to get back on track. And if there's ever a team that just needs a blowout for its own mental sake, to just get in that locker room, regroup, they got to get to 3-3. They're still alive. Like I said, by far the best team at 1-3. They have a positive point differential. So I'm not going to overthink this. I'll take the Vikings. What's up?
Let me just throw this out there, though, because the Vikings do have 2 cornerbacks on the COVID list. Harrison Hand's on there today. So that's something else to keep an eye on. 2 cornerbacks, 2 cornerbacks. I don't think it's going to be that good. We'll see if Cameron Dantzler gets back.
Kind of makes me like the over more then, because then that should mean Detroit puts up some more points.
And then the over.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they held Cleveland to 14 with some pretty bad cornerbacks to begin with. I mean, Rashad Breeland has been playing well. Patrick Peterson's a shell of his former self. So yeah, we are losing some depth here. I just think I don't see how Detroit stops Minnesota here, and I really like them to get back on track. So thank you for the warning. I think I'll still play it, and then if I lose, I will send you a message saying I should have listened to you. Let's talk about your favorite team, Tyler, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is one of my favorite plays. I'm taking the Broncos. I'm not going to bet
on this a matchup of me and Holden's team.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I live in Denver, but I wouldn't say that's my team. Just bet the under. I'll get to that. Tyler, you love the Broncos or the Steelers this week?
I love the Broncos here. What's your thoughts, Tyler?
If Teddy's playing, give me the Broncos. If Drew locks in, just give me the under.
Okay.
I can't play a side with
You're not worried that Drew Lock kind of gives you some of those like turnovers that let Ben have a 20-yard field that get you over the game?
That's why I would be worried about back in Denver with Drew Lock on the field as he turns over the ball. TJ Watt strip sacks him or something. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh puts up points on short drives, or even the defense puts up points on the board. So
Holden, you're on the ground in Denver. What are you hearing about Teddy? Is he going to be out there on Sunday?
Nobody knows yet. I just bet the under this morning, 40.5. You can still get it at 40 at a lot of places. I don't even think the hook matters, to be honest with you. Old Noodle Arm Ben is out there. Now his hip bothers him. They're trying to make excuses for him. This offense is completely just dead.
It's dead.
And listen, the Broncos defense, I would say didn't look great, but there's still enough talent defensively that they're just going to murder Ben. Like, I don't know who's out there. Duck Hodges. We might not see Ben survive this game. They might have to pick up pieces of his body and put him on a stretcher. And then on the other side, honestly, like the Steelers defense has been keeping them in games. And even Teddy Bridgewater, listen, the Broncos cleaned up on 3 bad teams to start this season off. And I don't think they were as bad as they were in week 4, but I also don't think their offense is going to be that efficient against the Steelers. So I see a lot of punts, and I feel really good about the under 40 right now.
All right. Yeah, I like the Broncos a lot here, even with Locke, but I'm going to go ahead and wait. My question for you guys is, am I shooting myself in the foot by waiting? Do you think if Bridgewater gets announced that line moves to -3 and I'm going to be pissed at myself for not betting it earlier in the week? Holden, what do you think?
If Bridgewater's announced, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think the line moves to 3 or something, or do you think it's going to be the same?
No, it definitely moves. Drew Lock is horrible.
Do you think it goes 2 points though? I think it maybe gets to 2, maybe 2.5. I'm not sure it jumps all the way to 3.
2.5. I can see 2.5. Yeah, sure.
Maybe I'll just bet this now then.
What's wrong with him? A concussion, right, Holden?
Yeah.
concussion protocol, and that's not easy to get
Yeah, I
off.
was about to say that's
Unless you're
something to worry
Devontae
about.
Adams. Like, why can't we get those doctors? Right? I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. I like the Broncos there. These guys like the under. I think both those plays are going to hit. Hey, at Bookmaker, that's down to 39.5 Holden. So you're already bathing in CLV. The last game on the morning slate, I don't think I forgot any. I switched where I was getting the numbers from, so I might have missed one, but I think I got them all. The New England Patriots, fresh off the loss to Tampa in prime time. Mac Jones takes his team down to Houston to take on the terrible Texans, who will have Davis Mills at quarterback once again. Texans catching 9. I'm taking the points. The most the Patriots have scored is 25 this year. They put up 17, 17, and 13 the other 3. It's not like this team, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I also like the under here, but I'll go ahead and take the +9. Holden, how crazy am I?
I like that under, man. And again, these games are they're such low totals at 39.5. So that kind of feels uncomfortable too, right?
It does. Yeah, because it's just the turnovers is what worries
You want to
me.
know what my best bet this last week was? Davis
What?
Mills under 205.5 yards passing. And I think,
I think he came in at 117.
Did he have that much? I thought he
I think he had like 73.
For most of the game.
I think he was 11 of 21 for 117 yards.
All right. Well,
I'll pull it up now, but
they said his passing prop at anything over like 160. I'm going to bet the under. That's just
especially with Belichick against a rookie quarterback, right? I mean, this is why it's so hard.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm interested in here. Davis Mills just being bad. What's the lowest passing prop you've ever seen? Because
it's got to be Cam Newton's last year when it was coming in at about.
No, it was when that one dude took over for the Broncos last year.
No, his was higher.
The practice squatter.
No, they had the quarterback, wide receiver.
He was on a practice squad.
I can't remember his name right now, but I think it was like 60-something yards. Or something.
Yeah. And thanks, Pocket QB Lamar Jackson. They do have a couple of COVID cases with the.
Patriots. Oh, cool! I like that +9 even more now. Then
okay. Well, I'll tell you right now, look at the Davis Mills prop. And
I got his stat line from last week, 11 for
what was
21 to 87 yards.
It was only 87 yards?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he didn't get to 100.
He had halftime with 3 yards.
He had I think 18 through the first 2.5, 3 quarters. He's so bad. He's just so bad. So if he's in there, I don't know if they could set it low enough. I really don't. He's not good. Doesn't belong here.
If Isaiah wins out, I'm taking the +9 for sure. I don't care. We'll see if they can run the ball against this Patriots defense because that's like Obi-Wan. I think that's their only hope. Let's talk about these afternoon games. The Chicago Bears take on my team, the Las Vegas Raiders. How did this line move to -6? It was 4.5 earlier in the week. What did the Raiders do last night to warrant a 1.5-point change? Am I missing some sort of injury news out of Chicago? How did this line move, and what do you think of this game, Holden?
The Bears? What do I think of the Bears? This is one of my least favorite games of the whole week. Because I can't stand either coach. That's the first thing is we know Matt Nagy's just over his head, right? So they're not going to be prepared the way that they need to be prepared. Andy Dalton could be the starting quarterback this week. No, total stay away spot for me. You can have this game and just have fun with it because I will be, unless you guys or Keg puts a play up on the board from this game, I will not even bother looking at it. I hate this game.
Yeah, I mean, I would say on the coaches, Matt Nagy's incompetent. I would say that Gruden's overrated, but competent. Just his ceiling is probably like a wild card game. Matt Nagy, I guess they made the wild card before, but that was with Vic Fangio running his defense. Tyler, what do you think?
I'm in the same boat as Holden. I don't want nothing to do with this game.
All right, let's not even spend a lot of time.
Because, I mean, we don't know who the starting quarterback is for Chicago, and I could see the Raiders laying a dud here.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line looked to have issues last night, and if there's a team that's going to take advantage of it, it will be the Chicago Bears, although good to note that Akeem Nicks will be out, so they'll be relying on Eddie Goldman pretty heavily still. Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, that's kind of tough to take. Here's a game that I like, Tyler, as we're going to be going head-to-head. You know I'm going to take the Chargers, right? And they're playing your team, the Cleveland Browns, your favorite guy, Baker Mayfield. Do you think he's going to get it done?
Into my team and my guy.
Because you're the only one I know that's picked him for the Super Bowl. Like everyone else is like,
JSU's in the same boat as me, spread.
He doesn't come on a show. If he did, I would do the same thing. And in fact, just for you, on his first NBA appearance, I will bring
You're
up
just gonna
Baker
tear into
Mayfield
him
to
for the
him, right?
Browns.
Yeah, like we'll be talking about the Cavaliers, and I'll work Baker Mayfield into that somehow. But what do you think of this game? I'm going to be taking the Chargers.
I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I'm not sure on the side yet. I'd probably tease the Browns up. You
That's
get
fair.
up through that 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, outside of that, I don't see a total posted on DK for this game yet. Do you have one?
I have a total. Yes, I have 47.
I'd probably lean over there. I can see both teams putting up points in this spot.
You think Baker bounces back after only putting up 14 against Minnesota?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Holden, what do you think? And you know what? Out of anyone, I would say, you kind of remind me of Bernie Kosar. You got that before?
Why?
I don't know. Just the hair. It's really good.
So anyway, what about this, guys? We already talked about the Vikings, right? What if we tease the Vikings down to -1.5 and the Browns to +7.5? Not a huge teaser guy. I'll usually do one a week. What do you think about that?
I like that.
You get through all the numbers that you're supposed to get through to make those teasers
I know.
advantage. So I can't complain. So you're concerned, can the Chargers win by margin? I would say they can, but this Browns offense is real good. Gruden tried to run the ball. The difference is Cleveland's going to be able to run the ball. There's a little difference between handing it off to gimpy Josh Jacobs and Peyton Barber and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, not to mention their line is much superior. So I do like that play.
Yeah, maybe that's something I'll do after the show because we talked through the Vikings already.
Yeah,
I'm a Browns backer too. I like the Chargers a lot. I already told you guys, but the Browns can do it in their own way. They played a couple softies off the bat, and now I think we're starting to see who they are. Here's my one concern with the Browns in this game: do they have enough in the passing game right now? Because Landry's gone. I don't know what to expect out of Beckham, but I also don't see this being a blowout.
Baker just can't get it to him.
Yeah, I mean, last night was the anomaly for the Chargers. It was basically a blowout, right? I mean, we're talking a couple of touchdowns. Normally, they come down to the final possession. So if you look at a trend like that, then I would say the Browns. My only concern with Cleveland, this week would be the lack of a passing game. They got to figure it out. Are they getting both tight ends? Do they continue to target the tight ends more than anybody else? Does Beckham really get going? I'm not so sure. So it might be a game where they do want to get the run game going. And Tyler, as we talked about, like the Chargers can stop that. The Chargers can stop that.
But what if Kenneth Murray's still missing in the middle?
He's probably still going to be missing.
But I still think the Chargers can stop that. I still think they're good against the run. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Tyler likes the over. Holden's going to tease the Browns, and I'm going to take the Chargers and lay the 1.5. The New York Giants, coming off their victory in New Orleans, stay down south. They travel over to Dallas. The Cowboys, who were laying 7.5. And Holden, I'm in the same boat as you, man. I underestimated the Cowboys. I like their roster. I like their skill. I didn't believe in McCarthy. I didn't believe in Quinn. I think that Dak and company might just be good enough to where they can overcome Mike McCarthy the way that Aaron Rodgers did. And I don't know what to do with this game. Normally 7.5 in a division game is auto take the points, but I've been so wrong about Dallas this year. I'm really hesitant to get involved. Show me the light, Holden.
I see it at 7. Giants did it with smoke and mirrors again. A horseshit team. Danny Dimes, you're going to get games out of him where he impresses. But more often than not, he's going to turn the ball over in the red zone and be a big problem. I do like what I've seen out of Saquon, though, offensively. But I just don't think the Giants have enough defensively to match up with what the Cowboys are doing right now. Now, you look at the run game. Zeke actually showed a little bit of burst last week. That's scary. Dak Prescott's playing out of his mind. Like we talk about Herbert, let's talk about Dak Prescott being a top 3 or 4 quarterback in this league because that's what he's playing right. That's what he's playing like right now. He has the weapons around him. And here's what I'm shocked about when it comes to the Cowboys. The fact that defensively, they've still been able to get a pass rush without, when they didn't have either one of their ends, their pass rushers. So, 7 points is a lot, though. That's my only issue. 7 points, division game. The Cowboys are a much better team than the Giants. I'm down on Danny Dimes, anybody that knows. And I've been right more than wrong with that. And I'll continue on that. But 7 points, a little bit too much for me, guys.
What do you think, Tyler?
I think it's a letdown spot for the Giants after that big win.
A letdown for the Giants? Like, they're allowed to have a letdown being that bad?
Especially after a win, like, they're definitely coming in here flat-footed.
Yeah.
Like, I think Dallas just steamrolls them, just runs right over them. I don't think their corners are going to be able to keep up with these wide receivers. Yeah, they'll chase Dak out of the pocket here and there, but he's mobile enough to still get it downfield. Just like you said, Zeke's got to burst again. They're putting him and Pollard on the field together, so you don't know which side the ball is getting ran to, so you can't judge that. I just think this is a bad spot for the Giants. Give me Dallas here. And if you don't want to tease the Browns up, this is the spot to tease Dallas down.
Two of the best route runners in the NFL on the same team. It's just unbelievable. And Michael Gallup comes back next week, maybe. Yeah, I'm staying off this game altogether. But thank you guys for your input. Here's a game that I do like. The 49ers are catching 5.5 in Arizona. We talked about lit down spots in the last game, Tyler. This is the lit down spot. Arizona just went into Los Angeles. They beat the Rams on a lit down spot. Now they go home. Everybody's pumping them up. Kyler Murray's the MVP. They're going into the Super Bowl. Not so fast. 49ers match up well. I'm taking the Niners to cover the points. What do you think, Holden?
Last 20 games, and again, I always say I'm not a trends guy, but I'm starting to pay attention to some of this shit.
I like trends when they help my argument.
Yeah, when they help the argument, I'm definitely down with them. Last 20 games for the Niners, 1-6 at home. 7-3 on the road, 0-3 on neutral field. Like, these guys really step it up on the road. Here's why I can't bet this right now. Is it going to be Jimmy G or is it going to be Trey Lance? And it's a big difference. I love Trey Lance. I think going on in the future, this kid's going to be a stud. But if it is Jimmy G, first of all, how effective can he be? It's a calf strain. So I don't want to get into this game right now until I have definitive news on the quarterback situation. And even if it is Jimmy G, there's a calf. And is he going to be mobile? Is it going to re-injure it? And if Trey Lance does have to come into the game, is it just an RPO or can he actually throw the ball a little bit? So it's a stay away for now. I need to know what's going on with the quarterback situation. If everything was healthy, if Jimmy G was healthy, I would actually back the Niners in this spot.
Yeah. So right now I'm capping this as the Trey Lance is playing. I think the line move indicates to me that Trey Lance is playing. This is a calf issue. It's his plant foot. And just to give a little bit of background, because obviously Niners are the local team. That's what I hear on the radio and just, BSing when I'm out and about doing my stuff. In training camp, Trey Lance had the more impressive throws, but Jimmy Garoppolo had the more impressive drives, as in, he's more accurate. He leads the team better, not a lot of mistakes, but Trey Lance really gives those eye-opening throws. Could be enough to put a little fire behind that team, regardless of who starts. I just think this is too many points, for an Arizona team that I think might be a tad overrated right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that about the Broncos last week. It came to fruition. I think it comes to fruition again this week. And, the three members of Miami Dolphins 72 team that are still left can pop their champagne and go party with Urban Meyer. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, just like Holden said, got to wait for the quarterback news.
Okay.
If Trey Lance is in, give me the Niners. I mean,
really?
You like the Niners more with Trey Lance?
I do.
Ooh.
We've seen him play a half of football. He threw for $160 and 2 touchdowns, and he ran the ball for 41 yards.
Uh-huh.
That's all the film you got on this kid. Okay. Arizona is going to have no idea what's coming at him. He's going to change the whole offense for them because he's going to have that running element that Jimmy G doesn't have. I think the over is definitely in play then if he's on the field. If Jimmy G's playing, just give me the under on Jimmy G's passing yards because the dude's not making it through the full game.
How do we not just talk about Kyler Murray for a second, though? Because
Baby Yoda.
Huh?
They call him Baby Yoda.
I mean, he is Baby Yoda. He does the little mantra in the end zone.
Yeah.
He was in the MVP mix last year, if you'll remember. And then week 11, he hurt his shoulder. And everything went to hell. He was afraid to run. Yeah. He's healthy again. To me, he's a Maserati. He's at 90, 100%. He's could be the best quarterback in the league. Seriously. If he's, below that, shoulder injury, lower body injury, then he's not going to be as effective. So this offense, though, has just taken off. AJ Green found the fountain of youth. It's nice to see him back. So he's got so many weapons at his disposal. It really comes down to the defense. If Lance is in, can they contain Trey Lance? And Tyler thinks no.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to contain him. I think he'll be
I think
throwing
a
all
lot
over him.
of
I think he'll be taking deep shots. He'll be running the ball for like 15-yard gains.
okay. I listen. I love Trey Lance. I think some of his success last week was probably that they didn't prepare for him. That he just came out in the middle of the game. They went out and they now, if you know, you're at least you're preparing for a guy that's going to run some RPO. Trey Lance a badass, but if he's in there, I don't feel nearly as confident in the Niners this week.
Yeah, I think immediately it's a downgrade, but I still think that this 5.5 and probably 6 where it closes, it's just too much for a divisional game with a great team such as the 49ers that can give Arizona problems with the pass rush. Of course, if I'm losing this bet, crumpling the ticket up, it will be because the 49ers depleted secondary cannot keep up with Rondale Moore and DeAndre Hopkins. And of course, that's a possibility, which is why, every play is one unit. Let's go to Sunday night. The Buffalo Bills. Boy, this game's down to 2.5. The Chiefs defense is probably the only thing more maligned than Urban Meyer this week, as everybody's ready to write this team off and say they have the worst defense that they've ever seen. I like the Chiefs to lay the 2.5 here against the Bills. I'm pretty sure Tyler will be opposite. So let me start with you, Tyler. Are you taking Buffalo?
No chance.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me
Give
hear
me the Chiefs here because everyone's going to line up to bet Buffalo. They just watch their defense stifle multiple teams in a row. Yeah. Everyone's putting them number one in the power rankings. Mm-hmm. Guess what they still can't do, spread? Run the ball most of the game. That's how you beat the Chiefs. They're going to try and get into a shootout with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Look what he just did last week. They could, just like you said, they could have scored 70 in that game.
They could.
I think they have Buffalo's number. I don't think Buffalo stands a chance in this game. I think the Chiefs.
Wow, I love it. I love to hear you on my side. And of course, the line's moving towards me, which makes me think that Buffalo's a pretty popular team. Holden, are you joining us? Or are you going to talk some reason into us? What do you think?
You know what you guys should be feeling good about is that I'm going opposite you. Like you guys are locked. You guys are locked. You're winning this bet. I bet AP this morning. I'm like Bills +3. I don't know if they win this. Listen, here's my take on the Chiefs. These dudes have been sleepwalking since they won the Super Bowl, and they're still good enough to get to the Super Bowl last year, but they just don't look right. Defensively, they are a joke. So I rarely, if ever, would bet an over 56.5. That is a ridiculously high total. But all we got to get is a 30-27 score. Like, how are the Bills not going to put up 27 in this game? What is the team total on the Bills? The team total on the Bills probably got to be right around 27, right? Yeah, exactly. 27. And then we've had this all year, right around 30 for the Chiefs. I like the over in this game. I like the Bills over. I like the Chiefs over. I like everything over. And then I would take the Chiefs. No,
you mean the Bills?
Bills +3.
Yeah. Okay.
Bills
okay. All right. So that wraps up our Sunday night game.
Can I ask you something?
Of course. This is the time where we just said some. Yeah, I'm with you. You take over in all the Chiefs games. The Chiefs are 3-1 going over 30 points so far this season. You just mentioned their defense is terrible. I don't think there's any reason to think that Buffalo won't be able to score as well. And I also think that fits into my handicap because in a shootout, I'll take Mahomes. So, yeah, I'm completely with you on the total. I think you're right on overs everything. I think the books might get eaten up on the props, right? I think a lot of these player props are going to go over too with the popular players. Kelsey probably has a bounce back week. Hill, unstoppable regardless. And then I think that Diggs and Beasley are going to get theirs too. So, other than the running backs, I think that everybody's going over this game as well. Tyler, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I agree because neither team's really going to be able to just sit there and just run the ball for extended drives and just eat up like 9 minutes off the clock. Like it's going to be down the field, score, or give up the ball and let the other team go down the field and score.
Yeah, and in these type of games, this is where I really like Mahomes and I really like this offense. And I like the fact that, I mean, they haven't been doing well. Everybody's kind of overlooking them, and I do think they have incentive to maybe stop sleepwalking and start taking this regular season seriously. So, Holden, it was so wonderful to have you on. Did you have anything else for all the people before we get out of here?
I had to beg you to come on the show, too. I'm like,
stop. Yeah, you send one message, and I'm like, sure, name your time. And that's probably like how you have to beg all those women to go out with you, too, right? Send them one message, and they're just like, what time?
Dropping panties. That's kind of nice. So I will plug one thing. Tonight I am taping the Wishbone Pod. The Wishbone Pod is on the DFS side, Run Pure Sports. And it's on YouTube, Run Pure Sports side. It's me, Uncle T, G Rison, JT Hayes. And basically what we do for about 30, 40 minutes is just bullshit because we're old people and we complain about stuff. Tonight we'll be complaining about Urban Meyer. I'm sure there's going to be some hot takes in there. We scream at each other. And then once in a while, we just talk some football too. So looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to the Yankees and Red Sox tonight. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Let's go. Unfortunately, it's not like a blood rivalry like it used to be, but maybe we could get some blood. Maybe we could get some fights. My favorite was like when Manny Ramirez came out with his bat and tried to get at Clemens. Then you had A-Rod or Pedro beating up Don Zimmer. So many cool moments in this rivalry. It's not as feisty anymore, but maybe we can get a little of that electricity back.
Yeah, Tyler, speaking of Pedro and Don Zimmer, have you ever beat up a 90-year-old man?
No.
That surprises me. That actually
not on my list of things I've done.
Yeah, you look like the type of guy that'd shank like a 75-year-old dude in a wheelchair.
I just push him down the hill, Holden. I don't shake him. Just let his wheelchair ride away.
So that's smart, actually. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, Holden, thank you for showing up. Everybody
who
watched
podcast, Lamar Jackson. It's a podcast on video too.
Yeah, so make sure you check out the Wishbone podcast. If you enjoyed this, please like the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when we go live. Also, head on over to runpurebets.com. Use the promo code BETS25 off to get the best sports gambling information, bang for your buck. For $60, you're never going to get more information than what we are able to provide. And you can join the DFS team. I didn't mention it at the top, but hey, it wasn't a great one, but the one that we talked about yesterday got a nice little min cash there thanks to Title. He helped me out on the lower level, so hopefully he helped you out too. We will be back. There's going to be so many shows on Run Pure this week. Of course, Joey's going to be doing baseball. JJ's giving out free picks for college football. The Keg will be live on Thursday night, and you're off and on there, Holden. Tyler and I will be back on Friday, so there's no reason not to be subscribed. Holden, do you want to take us out of here?
Tomorrow's spread. Tomorrow we got me and Keg and Mangone. So three guys that like betting. Me and Mangone obviously with big into DFS. So every Monday through Friday at 2 Eastern, we do another show. And tomorrow is picking winners. Me, Keg, and Mangone. So check it out. You'll get some really good looks from Keg too.
Yeah, and I love it, and you do a great job. I do watching it. The best host in the business when I host these shows. I'm just trying to emulate you. Just like if I were to log on a dating app, I would try to emulate you. So on that note, everybody, run.